what's up, folks? Welcome to a little unboxing review video. We got VNSH's. They were having a sale where you get their laser strike system, and it comes with some mystery stuff along with a free holster. I believe this is that laser thing. Star of the show here today, the laser strike system. Boom. Okay, so in shipping, our little cartridge came a little bit undone. It looks like we got to screw it together ourselves. Oh, here's the other piece. And the batteries are down here. It looks like it might come with extra batteries, which is pretty nice. We will take that. Some O-rings. I'm guessing this is a Target. Yes, it is. Very nice. Oh, can I see that? Oh. What do we got here? Got a little how-to. I'm guessing this is like a tripod for the phone. It's actually very handy. Did not know that that came with this. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just put you in there right now. Okay, so once you pop out all four legs, here, slightly loosened, then you can just kind of slowly pull up on one or pull down on the centerpiece till it's at an appropriate height. You can't see what I was doing, but these legs do hold at a higher height or a lower height, depending on the angle you want, so that's pretty nice. I'm not quite sure what this little plastic tube is in here, or glass tube. This doesn't go in your barrel, does it? We'll find out. Let's get these batteries out. Oh man, it does come in the little plastic wrapping, which is good because, you know, when you pull them out, it doesn't immediately fly everywhere, but it is a little annoying. Two spares. Oh, okay. It is already starting to do things. Okay. I'm assuming that that is right. Let's go ahead and pop open these instructions, see if I need to use that O-ring. Open the lock and slide of your firearm, always ensuring the slide is firmly locked in place. While pointing the barrel downward, insert the laser cartridge by dropping it, laser side pointed forward, through the slide opening into the chamber. Gently push the cartridge into the chamber. Enjoy your training session. So it looks like you can shoot it with a magazine, so that's nice. And it wants you to actually push the cartridge out of the chamber using a end of a pencil or similar soft object. Interesting. I'm not seeing any use of these O-rings. I'm not sure if this is supposed to go in the barrel. Maybe this is just to push the cartridge out. It is kind of soft. Let me go grab my firearm and get this on the road. I want to look up just a quick tutorial, make sure I don't load this incorrectly. Looks like the O-rings are actually replacements for these two spots on it. This one and this one at the back. And I just need to figure out from a fellow YouTube video on what exactly this is used for. And then we'll get that show on the road. I decided to put these afterthoughts at the beginning of the video, or my overall conclusion of having used it. And I think that ultimately it is fun. I think that ultimately it helps get you more comfortable with holding your gun, right? At the end of the day, it is still practice. It's dry fire practice. So although it still does not compare to actual practice, you know, live rounds and stuff, I do think it has value. I think that it probably increases accuracy in the sense that you get used to holding your gun how you're supposed to. And I think that it's a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun. As you can tell by the sped up videos that I'm gonna have after this little clip, I just kept doing it, you know, over and over, just kept sending it out there. So as far as a pure test goes, probably did a little bit more than I needed to figure that out. But it was fun, so I wanted to keep playing with it, keep shooting with it. It's like having a BB gun at the house, but you know, you actually get feedback of how accurate you're being, and you don't have to worry about destroying stuff or be flying off and hitting something you don't want it to. So I think it's a lot of fun. I do think it has some value to it. I think the worst parts about it are the setup. I would recommend, if you can, put the target against like a black background, because it seems that darker colors do really well. Having it on my white windowsill with the light peeking through, I think, is what's causing a lot of those issues. The setup with the cartridge itself can be a little bit tough, but once you do it a couple times, I think that gets easier. You really just gotta jam it in there. It comes with a tripod, comes with the little glass tube to pull it out, comes with the extra battery, so like it's good value. It is just a laser pointer, but it's a laser pointer that you don't have to worry about damaging your gun having inside, and you know, the actual activation switch is designed for this, so like it does what it's designed for pretty well. I think my biggest complaint about it is the difficulty with the app. Getting the app to work right away, kind of tough. I have to play with it. I have to adjust things on my windowsill. I got to move the camera around until it finds a spot that it likes. And even then, if I'm not willing to spend like 10 minutes just playing with it, then I'm not going to get the express setup to work, where the bar just goes up and it says, okay, we see what's going on, we're good to go. I think a manual setup is going to be what I have to use until I can find a place to change the target, which has darker colors in the background. So that's ultimately my biggest complaint, just how difficult the app setup is, how touchy it is. But at the end of the day, if you want it to be measuring accuracy accurately, it probably does need to be a touchy setup. I don't know. I'm not a software engineer on that aspect. So I got to give it some negative marks for how difficult the app is to get locked in. And I got to give it slightly negative marks for, we'll see. I was saying negative marks for just getting the cartridge in there in the first place, but I do think it's just a matter of you jammed it in there, and you want it to be snug because you don't want the firing pin to hit it and it just, you know, slips out of your barrel. Maybe an instruction manual with pictures and the little words that say push real hard, but I don't know, because they say just drop it in, and that does not work for my gun. So it's definitely a little bit more difficult than they make it sound like in the advertising. I guess I can give them a negative mark for that, but it makes sense, right? That it would be a little bit tense, a lot of tension. You want that. Ultimately, my biggest negative remarks come from the app itself. It's not super smooth, and it's not very smart, it would seem. Like, it sees the target, it sees the box, all that's highlighted. Why can't you just start it right away? Why are you worried about all this red weirdness on the windowsill? I don't see how that matters at all. But there's probably a reason behind it I just don't understand, so I'll give some grace for that. Do I think it increases your accuracy? Again, not with live fire, like, because there's no recoil. But maybe you could argue that it's simulated by the fact that you have to take your gun, recock it, and go back. Like, your hands won't be in the exact same position, so it kind of has some sort of simulation for that. You don't obviously get the feeling of, like, a round exploding out of your gun, which feels nice. So it's not great there. But the fact that you're using your gun with a target and you're seeing where you're pointing at and where that's going, and then you can then practice constant target acquisition. You can constantly practice making sure that your grip is just as good as it should be, that you're holding the gun correctly, and you can work on that. If you want to tweak it slightly, you know, then this is a great place to do it. You can get comfortable holding your gun, holding it on target, and how that feels and what that looks like. And you can get comfortable with knowing where to look, where your sight placements should be, depending on what method you use to shoot. If you're looking through the irons, if you're looking at your target, if you're pointing one of your fingers there, whatever it may be, you can get actual information from that. You can actually see, like, okay, I'm doing this, my shots are going here, and even though I have slightly different positioning each time I recock and go back to it, my overall shots seem to be going more to the left than I want, or more to the right than I want, or more down, or more up. And you can take that information and then change something you're doing. So I do think for that use is really good. I do think that it will help you overall with your accuracy, but I do think there's also going to be a noticeable difference once you go back to the range and you actually start shooting live fire ammunition. I think that it'll still help, but again, it's going to be with that target acquisition. So I'd say you go to the range after practicing with this a lot, you're looking really good on the marks that you set for yourself. Now you're ready to go back out there and see what's changed. That first magazine, or first 10, 20 rounds, probably going to be an adjustment period of like, okay, I know how to hold my gun, I know how to look at my target, and I know how to fire. Now let's see what it does with live ammo. Bop, 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 bop. Okay, this is kind of how it's different. These are the adjustments I now have to make for the live fire, but it'll probably be less adjustments than you just not ever practicing dry fire at all. So I do think it's useful. I do think it's a lot of fun. Again, it's like a video game or like a I don't know, it's a target practice game. It's a lot of fun. It's fun to just sit there with your gun. It's goal. Less than 1 inch at 5 yards. Goal met by 43%. Like, it's fun to see that. It's fun to hear that. And it's fun to just be able to do a lower version of shooting. It's cool. So, after this, you'll see the setup, me setting it up, and you'll see me using it to shoot. So, whenever I was actually able to shoot, very fun. The setup part, not as fun. But I'm going to show you both after this just because I'm not trying to waste all your time scrolling through or anything like that. Figured I'll give you my thoughts on it, how it works, what I think is good about it, what I think is bad about it. And then if you want to go in and see how tenuous that setup process was, and then actually see some like what the app's going to look like, because I screen recorded it, so what the app's going to look like when you're actually doing it and things like that. That's all going to be after this. I'm going to have timestamps for all that. So I hope that this is useful information, and that if you decide to buy it, that you know a little bit better on what you're getting into, and it can serve your goal for it successfully. And if it's something that sounds like it's not going to be a great purchase for you, then you don't have to worry about it taking some of your money and taking up some space in your house. So, yep, hope this was useful. Have a good one. All right, so we got our situation set up here. Got our, oh, can't see me. Got our 1911. I'm gonna insert this into the barrel here. Going to pop that in. Okay. Oh, looks like we got a jam. The slide did not fully go in. Oh, shiza. Okay, so I might need to push that in a little further. You guys are going to be with me on this troubleshooting, see how easy or hard this setup is. I want to be ballsy and just stick my finger in there. Probably not a smart idea, but... Okay, it seems to be further in. That second O-ring isn't quite making contact. Maybe slightly smaller O-rings are necessary too. I'm going to go ahead and end this recording and figure it out. So, I essentially reset took the round out, or the laser cartridge out, put it back in, and I think we're clear now. So let me hit the reset. I'm not sure if the thing is where. This is pretty nice though. Just slide, and actually with this one, I think I could just, yeah. Is it working? I don't know if it's going.
Maybe I should change where you guys are at here. Put you down right here. Get out of there. Let me back out and go back in. Hold for group. Go to drill. Start. Oh shit. Let it do its thing. But it's fully visible. I don't know what you guys are doing. Oh, I see. It's not loving this right now. The phone setup is a little bit weird. It looks fully visible to me, brother man. Brother man. How about that? Oy vey. Okay. Let's try moving right in front of it. How does it like that?
No red shots around target. Okay, it's liking it so far. You see that little red thing going up on the right side? Okay. We definitely need practice. Oh, wow. That was real loud.
Group size, 16.45 inch. At range 7 yards. Goal, group size less than 1 inch. Goal met by 6%.
Ready to go? Group size, 16.45 inch. At range 7 yards. Goal, group size less than 1 inch. Goal met by 6%. You let me reset? There we go. Oh, bullseye. Ooh. Group size, 11.02 inch. At range 7 yards. Goal, group size less than 1 inch. Goal met by 9%. Yeah, that 7 was brutal. Okay. Let's do one more try. Brutal. Group size, 10.17 inch. At range
7 yards. Goal, group size less than 1 inch.
Yeah,
Goal
that
met by
first one
10%.
really screwed me. This is a lot of fun, though. I'm not sold on their holster, at least for the size of this pistol, but man, that was fun. All right, let's give it one more go before we get out of here. My thumb's getting sore hitting this hammer anyway. Oof. Oh, ready to jam? Oh.
Group size, 7.86
That's a little better.
inch. At range 7 yards. Goal, group size less than 1 inch. Goal met by 13%.
And then just go this little run. Take this. Take this. Making sure I got both O-rings. I sure do.